Day we are together again. On the day we are together again, I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again, we will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table again. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand when we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among people who respect our work. Someday we will go back to work. I will write you a letter for now. I will write you a letter for now. Hope is a message that survives somehow. I will write you a letter for now. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet. I will help the strangers I meet. To the healers who keep us alive. To the healers who keep us alive. A toast to your courage, knowledge and light. To the healers who keep us alive. And the ones we love who are gone. And the ones we love who are gone. We remember the stories and we sing the songs for the ones we love who are gone. And on the day we are together.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Breaking news out of Southern California. We covered this last week. There was 6 unalived in the desert. They have made multiple arrests on this case. There is a press conference, and I do want to show you this press conference. It's about 14 minutes long. Someone had called in, and from what I understand, they think it may have been someone who they requested a wellness check, and they were thinking this was organized crime, and I believe that is exactly what this is. We're going to learn more about this press conference in just a moment. So I haven't watched this, but we're watching it the first time together. Without further ado, let's start here.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Michael Warwick. That's Michael Warrick. Uh, yes, is this better? All right. I'm a sergeant with the Specialized Investigation Division, Homicide Detail. Our Specialized Investigation Division has been working on this around the clock to bring these people to justice and justice for
Thank
our
you, missing
victims.
with Miranda for 2 months.
They were murdered in the remote area north of Adelanto in San Bernardino County. I appreciate the public and the media's patience with us, which allowed.
I think they solved this pretty quickly. In my opinion, there was 6 unalive and they were burned. Some of them were burned out in the middle of nowhere.
Our team to focus our efforts in finding those responsible. I want to remind everyone this is still an active investigation and we will not be able to disclose all the facts of this case. What I can confirm.
Someone said I'm having trouble with my membership. It's my card. Oh, no worries, November Rain. Thank you. Oh, Chantilly, thank you so much for becoming a member, my love. Welcome to the family. Let's celebrate Chantilly. Thank you, Chantilly. Welcome to the family. It does take time to investigate. That is for sure. Welcome to the family.
Firm is on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, at approximately 2016 hours. Dispatchers received a 911 call from a subject who spoke Spanish. The caller told dispatchers he was shot, but he did not know the location he was at, and it appeared the call ended. Dispatchers tracked the phone via latitude and longitude coordinates to a remote area in the unincorporated Adelanto area near Lessing Avenue. Due to the remote location, California.
Oh, wow. So maybe one of the victims called, didn't know where he was at. They was saying that it was someone called for a wellness check. That's not really a wellness check. That was someone who was a
California
victim.
Highway Patrol airship assisted our deputies and conducted an extensive search. Once overhead the area, officers discovered a crime scene and what appeared to be multiple gunshot wound victims, 2 vehicles, and one of the vehicles was apparently shot, had multiple gunshot strikes in it. The 2 vehicles were a Dodge Caravan and a Chevy Trailblazer. At approximately 2040 hours, deputies from the Victor Valley Station arrived on scene and located 4 deceased males with severe burns. A 5th deceased male was located in the Chevy Trailblazer, and a 6th deceased male a short distance away who sustained a gunshot wound. Our sheriff's homicide investigators assumed the investigation to process the scene and find those responsible for these heinous acts of violence. I can confirm 4 of the 6 victims have been identified. The name of the 4th victim is still being withheld pending next of kin notification. Victim number 1 is Baldemar Mondragon Albaran, 34-year-old resident of Adelanto. Victim number 2, Franklin Noel Bonilla, 22-year-old Hispanic male adult from Hesperia.
Wow.
Victim number 3, Kevin Darial Bonilla, 25-year-old Hispanic male adult, resident of Hesperia. Victim number 4 was a 45-year-old Hispanic male adult. Victims 5 and 6 have yet to be identified. Investigators believe Franklin Bonilla was the subject who called 911 after being shot by the suspects.
Oh.
To give you a timeline, it took us about a day and a half to process the extensive crime scene with 6 deceased victims, multiple vehicles, and to collect the evidence. We also had to work with the Sheriff's Coroner's Division to perform the autopsies on the 6 victims to determine cause of death. I can confirm all victims had apparent fatal gunshot injuries. Additionally, 4 of the 6 were burned at the location by the suspects.
4 of the 6. Wow.
As far as the motives, we are confident that this appears to be a dispute over marijuana, which resulted in the murders. Our investigators combed through evidence collected at the scene and followed up on information provided by the community. Through extensive investigation with the assistance of the Sheriff's Narcotics and Specialized Enforcement Divisions, On Sunday, January 28th, 2023, we were able to serve multiple search warrants in the town of Apple Valley, Adelanto, and the Los Angeles County area of Pinon Hills. We arrested 5 suspects involved in the murder of the 6 victims.
So here they are. They were local as well. These are 5 of the suspects. I dropped the names in chat of the suspects and of the victims. Yes, it must have been a lot of weed, if you ask me. I mean, that has to be quite a bit. I mean, some of these victims are, these guys 24 years old, these suspects 34, 24, 33, 34, 26. Young. So were the victims.
The suspects are identified as Toniel Baez Duarte, age 34, resident of Apple Valley.
Oh, there's
Mateo
another.
Baez Duarte, age 24, resident of Apple Valley. Jose Nicolas Hernandez Sarabia, age 33, resident of Adelanto. Jose Gregorio Hernandez Sarabia, age 34, resident of Adelanto. Jose Manuel Burgos Para, age 26, resident of Adelanto. Our detectives recovered evidence, including 8 firearms. Our Scientific Investigations Division will forensically process the evidence and determine if any of those firearms were the firearms used in our murders. We are still conducting follow-up investigation, but we are confident we have arrested all the suspects in this case. They are currently in custody with bail, pending a review of the case from the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office. I'm proud of the work. My team did. They spent sleepless hours bringing justice to the victim and their families. I can now take some questions.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. Emily Valdez, Canada. The first question is this cartel or gang related? And the second one relates to, I know there's a lot of illegal marijuana grows. When you say it's over marijuana, was this like a major marijuana production? Or did somebody steal? Like, can you elaborate on that a little?
To the first question, obviously it's an open investigation. There's a lot going on. There's certain things at the scene that show a level of violence that obviously raises some interesting questions for us. But at this point in the investigation, we can't comment on if we believe this is cartel related or not. And to the second question,
Elaborate a little more on the marijuana. Was it from an illegal grow? Was marijuana illegal?
Emily, I'll grab that one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of backup and talk a little bit about the region and what we've experienced out there in that region. So, and one thing that hasn't been mentioned yet, we need to remember that even looks like maybe the victims might have been involved in some level of criminal activity in this. We still need to always acknowledge the human perspective of this, and there are true victims in this. And as a result of what's going on in that area, to answer your question, in the last year, our marijuana enforcement teams, they served a total of 411 search warrant for illegal marijuana grows. And we're just talking a 365-day period. Discovered 14 honey oil labs, recovered 655,000 marijuana plants, 74,000 pounds of processed marijuana, and $370 million. During that period of time, our team served 11 search warrants in the immediate area where the murders took place.
$370 million just in that area. Holy moly, in 365 days? Oh my God.
And they served approximately 40 search warrants to the west of that area that we call the Shadow Mountain area. So this is an area known for illicit marijuana. Does that help you a little bit? Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And this was related to an illicit marijuana grow?
For all intents and purposes, it looks like illicit marijuana was the driving force behind these murders. And that's all we really know at this point. And I think we need to acknowledge really, why we're here and why are we talking about illicit marijuana. And as you said, this is legal in the state of California. The reality is Proposition 64 in the fine print took illicit marijuana and moved it from a felony to a misdemeanor. And the reality of this is by allowing that, we've unleashed a plague in this California. And the plague is the black market of marijuana and certainly cartel activity. And
wow. So it's legal
number
in
of victims
California.
that were out there. And it's certainly my hope. I'm seeing a number of legislators change Prop 47 and some things we're concerned about. I hope they take the same view of Prop 64 and change this.
Prop 64. I remember when that was going around. Oh, Don Grandma 3, thank you so much, my dear. Thank you.
Oh, we got a new charity dono.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's cray. Okay, let's continue. Thank you again, Don Grandma 3.
This so they give law enforcement a fighting chance to put some teeth into this law and to take back and prevent a number of these homicides and other things that we see occurring. If we don't fix that, we're going to continue to do this. I gave you stats for just the past year, but prior to that, thousands of marijuana grows that we've taken out in partnership with the Bureau of Cannabis Control, with partnership with our other state partners and federal partners. But right now, folks, we have gotten a much better control over this. But it's interesting. I just read an article that was produced back in 2020 in Cal Matters and what the supporters were saying about Prop 64. And it said it would bring the state's booming unregulated recreational marijuana under the rule of law and protect consumers and the environment. And its recognition of decades of prohibition against aggressive enforcement in criminal laws that don't work. That's false, 100%. Our environment, we prize our environment in this state. You go look at our deserts, it's hoop house trash that's left over. A very small water source that's available to the public has been tapped into. Look at this law through the lens of this case and all the statistics that I gave you. And then please research the other counties across the state of California. They have the exact same problems. We need to prevent these types of senseless murders from happening, and we can do it, and we have it in our power. We just need to make an adjustment.
Senseless,
Police are not going after
absolutely.
people who are smoking marijuana recreationally. It's illicit marijuana, and everything that Prop 64 was promised may possibly occur if we could just simply make that adjustment and change the way that we handle illicit marijuana in this state. Rob?
I know you don't want to say it's cartel related just yet. Is it fair to call this organized crime?
Rob, yes, it is. And look, based on our training experience, all of you hired experts that have also been talking about this case until we got to this point of the press conference. Based on our training and experience, we believe a lot of these things are occurring that are maybe related to much bigger things going on. The reality is factually at this point in the case, I can't tell you that, but it certainly looks like a lot of the modeling of cartel cases and things of that nature.
Another question, the person who called 911, is that the body that was found like 100 yards away or 200 yards away, the one that was found kind of away from the primary scene?
Mike, can you answer that, please?
Yes, we can say at this point that that was.
I know there was another question. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. Did this appear to be a scheduled meetup? And if so, what was supposed to happen? Or does this look more like an ambush?
Brian, maybe all of the above based on evidence we're looking at. But again, once the DA's office reviews this, and it's certainly my hope after we get through the preliminary hearing and a number of things, we'll be able to give it a little bit more information to the group with specificity.
Did the victims get off any shots?
That I'm not sure of. Do we know, Mike?
I don't think we're comfortable speaking to that at this point in the investigation.
Sure, were these legal U.S. citizens?
So a couple of the people that we identified in terms of the victims may be nationally from Honduras. We're not able to, we're working with the consulate right now to make that determination. We're not sure.
A follow-up to Emily's question. So you served search warrants in those multiple locations. Is it accurate to say that those search warrants were issued at those rows? Where were the suspects arrested?
The suspects were arrested on, I would describe it as a compound. It was close to a grow that was being formed but wasn't active yet. A lot of the areas that we were dealing with were adjacent to marijuana grows, but the search warrants themselves, none of them were hit at a grow site.
So, Mexica, what they're saying is it's not, this is not, how can I say it? It's not legal marijuana. If that's So it's not the legal type of marijuana. This is, so that's what it means. It's excuse me, marijuana is legal in California, but like the illicit marijuana is not. It's state regulated. Exactly.
Any of those suspects had prior criminal activity or anything on the record?
Not at this point in the investigation. We're
You know what I mean?
still
It's
working through
just
all that.
5? You think it's just 5 or are there more?
I believe the 5 that we have are the 5 responsible for the crime.
These are people who are growing it on huge farms and selling it
I don't think there's
illegally
anybody else who we would say is
without
responsible
business.
for the crime out there.
As best you can, you
And that
immediately got leads.
radio, yeah.
What were these leads and what was the motivation from whoever was calling you, Dennis?
I would love to be able to speak to that, but really that's definitely part of the investigation that the DA is going to have to review. And that's part of the ultimate adjudication of this that we need. And it's really, we can't release that type of information right now.
Absolutely. There is a human element to this. They may be criminals themselves, but at the end of the day, they're human lives and it's someone's family. We don't know their story, and I'm just not going to judge it. Wrong is wrong, and if they were selling it the wrong way, they were selling it the wrong way. But we also have to remember that these are human lives, and we can't be so calloused to forget that. At least we shouldn't be, in my opinion.
I have another follow-up question for you. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this is a big thing for all because it's 6 people, but how many other murders are going on because of these illegal grows in your area?
So I just speaking to San Bernardino County, now, obviously, anytime you have mass 6 people that are murdered, I mean, that's shocking to your conscience, let's be honest. But I can tell you that since we've been investigating illegal marijuana grows, a number of body dumps and things have been related to this across our county. And to give you an exact number, I'm sorry, I don't have that.
Body dumps. That's crazy. Body dumps. Now, I was watching a thing yesterday on this, even before they, was going to do the press conference and all that. And the person who had did, I guess, several, followed several of these type of cases in the area, he thought for sure this was some type of organized crime because it's classic for them to take them out into the desert and deal with them that way. And especially like burning, sometimes they'll do it for, to hide evidence or just as a means of torture or just some really cruel things.
But it isn't an anomaly. The anomaly here is the amount of people that were murdered, and this is a problem. And this is a problem that's not really being talked about.
You're hearing from San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes talking about the arrests of 5 people. Search warrants served yesterday.
And that's Cinnamon. That is absolutely true. I mean, even with the illegal type of marijuana growing, you don't know exactly what you're getting in that either. You could be getting fentanyl added into something like that. You just don't know, and that's why it's more dangerous, right?
Day in Pinion Hills, Apple Valley, and Adelanto, resulting in the arrest of those 5 people in the murders of 6 people. His suspicion is that it is related to marijuana. The suspicion is that it's perhaps organized crime, even cartel related. That has not been definitively answered yet. The investigation is still underway. But the shocking crime of 6 bodies found in the Mojave Desert. They believe they have all their suspects in custody now, those people being held without bail. We will, of course, have more detail and release more detail as it becomes available in later editions of Eyewitness.
Wow, that's rather interesting. Rather interesting. I'll show you guys some of their photos here. We'll continue to follow this and see what, I think it's this one. Yeah. So 5 arrested. There was 6 victims. So that's basically a one-on-one fight. 3 of them were burned. Or I think 3, no, maybe 4 out of the 6 were burned. I think that was it. And when media first showed up on scene, like, you could see bodies outside of the car. I mean, there was casings everywhere. About the cop and the fentanyl. I don't remember seeing that one, Marlena. I would imagine if weed was legalized for recreational use everywhere, this kind of things would be happening. Well, I mean, if it comes from like a legit farm, you're not going to have any cartels or, anything like this. The problem is when it's not taxed, when it's not regulated, you get, a bunch of criminals. I personally don't smoke, but I don't have a problem personally with weed or anything like that, as long as it's, kosher, as much as possible, I guess you could say. It's just interesting, we've seen 2 very high profile cases in the last just little bit. That's from weed, and like, you don't think of weed sales and people being unalived because of freaking weed, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, second to number 1, I've tried it twice in my entire life, and both times, I was in someone's arms and they were rocking me like a baby. So I don't do that. I don't mess with it. But yeah, it gives me, excuse me, like an anxiety as well, Shannon. So, but I think it's great for a lot of people. I mean, I think it's much better than opiates. That's for damn sure. So, especially people with, you know, uh, that needs an appetite, or cancer patients and all of that. So, are they legal or illegal immigrants? They didn't say. They didn't say. Um, they had some. I guess they have these huge farms out in the desert, and they just grow. In the last year, he said the county's marijuana teams served 411 search warrants. That's like over one a day, well over one a day, right? Illegal marijuana grows uncovered 14 honey labs. What's honey labs? Recovered some 655,000 plants in addition to 74,000 pounds of processed marijuana and seized $370 million. That is crazy. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up. Give me 1 second, Marlene. Pull it up. Guys, do me a favor if you haven't yet already, please hit that thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. So, Stacy Wandra was on Psychic Reverend Donna Serafina's last night. You probably smoke sativa. You want to smoke indica, couch. Honey is used as a concentration. Oh, okay. Honey Labs. Hey, Duchess. I may call you here in a little bit. I would like to get together with you on that case and we cover it, if that's okay. Okay. But let me put this link in the description before I share it. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go.
Bill Gore. What you're about to see is traumatic body-worn camera footage involving one of our deputies who was exposed to fentanyl during his patrol shift.
You're okay. Don't be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. I got you, okay? I'm not gonna let you die. I'm not gonna let you die. It's okay, just focus.
I just want to give a trigger warning to this, and I also want to say Radio God said colostrum. He said colostrum. Colostrum.
So you're breathing, okay? Focus on it. I need Narcan! I'm Corporal Scott Crane from the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. My trainee was exposed to fentanyl and nearly died. It was our first radio call of the day, and this was Deputy Five Eyes' radio call. He found a white substance that he suspected was drugs.
It's This is actually scary.
It's a powder. It could be cocaine or fentanyl. It tested positive for fentanyl. This stuff's no joke, dude. It's super dangerous. I was like, hey, dude, too close. You can't get that close to it. A couple seconds later, he took some steps back and he collapsed.
Oh, wow.
He ran over to him, and I grabbed him, and he was ODing. And I went to my trunk, grabbed the Narcan, came down to him, grabbed him, and I did one nasal spray in one nostril, opened the other one, another nasal spray in the other one.
I remember,
oh my God,
not feeling right, and then I fall back, and I don't remember anything after that.
Just breathe, buddy. Trying to get him to focus on just breathing, and because that fentanyl, you can't breathe.
It was in an instant. It's as though my lungs just locked up. I couldn't breathe.
Thank God.
I was trying to gasp for breath, but I couldn't breathe at all.
Bye bye. You okay? Talk to me. Oh no, don't be sorry. You're okay. Don't be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. I got you, okay? I'm not gonna let you die. I need Narcan. I got you. I'm trying to not let him go. Like I wanted him to know he wasn't alone. It's an invisible killer. He would have died in that parking lot if he was alone. Fire department got there, put him on the gurney. His eyes rolled back in his head, and he started to OD again. And he was ODing the whole way to the hospital.
That is so strong. They just had to keep giving him Narcan, ODing the entire way to the hospital. There is nothing that should be that potent on the street. No.
I don't think people realize the severity of just how deadly it really is. I'm Deputy David Five-Eye, and I almost died of fentanyl overdose.
One of the greatest threats we currently face is a synthetic opioid, fentanyl, which is 50 times more potent than heroin. Fentanyl overdoses are on the rise throughout our county. Every day, deputies recover fentanyl in our communities. And the county jails are not immune either to the dangers of this drug. Every week, sheriff's deputies intercept fentanyl entering our facilities. When inmates overdose on fentanyl smuggled into our jails, deputies and nurses are saving dozens of lives every month by administering naloxone, a medicine used to rapidly reverse the effects of the overdose. Fentanyl deaths in California have increased almost 46% in just the last year. Being exposed to just a few small grains of fentanyl could have deadly consequences.
So I'm glad he brought that point up because I want to show y'all something. This to the left is a fatal dose of heroin. To the right is a fatal dose of fentanyl. You see the difference? Granules, just a couple granules. That is why it is so potent. That is alarming. And it shows, I mean, that is it. That's all it takes. Yeah. And I mean, you can store so much fentanyl in such a extremely tiny package. Yes, one love. And they put it in everything to become more addicted. Yes, it is a completely synthetic opioid. Yeah. I think I think in the late 90s, early 2000s, doctors overprescribed tremendously from the drug companies who said, they were saying Oxycontin wasn't even as addictive in the early 2000s. And then they cut that off, and now people, are left, a lot of them are left with, became dependent on those, and they got on the street stuff. But the street stuff, you don't know what you're getting at a pharmacy, you know what you're putting in your body. So it is, one of the most addicting substances Oh yeah, you see, I agree, Cinnamon. I agree. So, like in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, China, they were the people of China, they were so dependent on poppies, right? They were so dependent on opioids. And now it's America. It's sad. Very sad. Yeah, I've heard about Indiana honey dip. I really have. I've heard about it. It's really bad. So, yeah, I mean, you can count almost the granules that takes compared to, I mean, look at all the white grains against here, not even counting down here, and there's just a few specks. So, there's that. All right, y'all. I appreciate you being here. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be live again here in a little bit at some point. I may be going over the Alec Murdaugh decision yesterday. Alex Murdaugh did not win a right to a new trial. Thank God. I thought he would get it, to be honest with you, but I'm so thankful that he didn't get it. So there's that. All right, guys, and I will be live later this evening for sure, related to I'll probably be speaking about Monkey Michael Vaughn this evening. And I want to get together with Dutch later here in a little bit. And there's a case that you guys need to hear about out of Kentucky, and it is graphic. Thank you, Jules. Thank you all. Appreciate you. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.